All right, ladies and gentlemen, guys, we would like to welcome you to the show. This is your host of the evening, DJJustJayOK. I'm here to tell you guys about a story. I thought it was rather interesting, and I want to say thank you to Nate Wynn, who sent me this story. I get a lot of stories, so if you guys know, we have a particular type of stories that we like to do here. We advocate for children first here at the So Do You Dig. So if you guys have a relevant story, something similar, send it to my email. I'll make sure and check it out and try to get the shows done as quickly as possible. Here we go. There was a man who's age 57, and he's out of Georgia. So yes, for you people that live in Georgia, this came out of your state. You guys know I've done something that came out of Texas and Oklahoma, so it happens. But he's been charged with murder for stabbing his pregnant wife to death. I want you guys to process that. First of all, they're married. Second of all, she's pregnant. Third of all, what pushed this man to get to that point that he had to stab his pregnant wife? Not pregnant girlfriend, not just some random chick he met at the club, right? What's up, All Exclusive? What's going on? And hi, Ouija Zozo. What's up, ladies? How y'all doing? All right, let's keep going. Now, his name is Elvin Durant. You'll see him scroll up on the screen here in a second. He's 57 years old. So it makes me wonder, oh, okay, I got her age. Here we go. That's him right there. That's Elvin Durant, age 57. And he was charged with malice murder along with other counts after allegedly killing his wife, Crystal Durant, and she's age 38, following an altercation, Cobb County Police said. Now, investigators believe that the child was his, they said, and why would they not believe that it wasn't his? Now, see, that might be a problem right there. I'm going to read that again. Investigators believe the child was his. If they're married, why the hell wouldn't the child be his? The reason why we point that out is because that might actually be a reason why this altercation started. That's very important. Now, he was also charged with a count of feticide. Now, what is feticide? That's the voluntary manslaughter of an unborn child. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that word. It's Feticide. I'm not going to lie. The first time I ever heard of this was when I looked up this story. I had no idea what that word even was. But it's the destruction or abortion of a fetus. Feticide. I think that's how you say it.
Feticide.
Feticide. Okay, thank you very much, Google. He allegedly stabbed his wife several times with a black folding knife in the head and the back and the neck. Everybody caught that? What's up, Kitten Paws? Everybody caught that? He allegedly stabbed his wife several times with a black folding knife in the head and the back of the neck, according to the warrant, at about 2:20 a.m. on August 25th at a Wood Meadows Drive home. Now, they just recently updated the story, which is why we were able to get a hold of it, take a look at it, and that's why we're doing it today, because there was some more updated information. Now, Mr. Durant will also be charged with feticide because her death was caused because her death caused the death of the baby, said Cobb County Police Officer Sarah O'Hara, which y'all saw her scrolling across the screen a second ago. Now, Crystal's cousin, Lula Battle, said Crystal had 6 children, including young twins. She had 6 children, so that means that she was pregnant with her 7th kid. Now, there's some things that we're going to cover in this, so I'm going to tell you guys before we even get any further, if you guys cannot handle the information that we put out here at the So Do You Dig, as you guys know, we advocate for children, but we also talk about things that go on in the black community. They're very difficult to deal with. They're very hard to deal with. Our opinions are very hard to swallow. They're like horse pills. So if you guys can't handle that, just don't come to my video. There's no need to flag. There's no need to thumbs down. There's no need to hate me or hate my beard or hate anything like that, right? Don't hate our narrative. You guys talk about, well, white people do it too, and there are white people out here doing this and that and such and such. Well, unless I see you guys doing videos like that on your channel, don't talk to me about what I want to do on my channel, or you guys can create it yourself. But this is what we specialize in here, okay? So if you guys can't handle that, just hit the red exit button at the top. For everybody else, let's keep going, because that's a problem. 6 children. She is 38 years old. So she's almost 40 years old pregnant with a kid. Why is that a problem? Because that puts her at high risk. If any of you ladies know what I'm talking about, holler at me in the chat. Let me know that I'm correct about this. She's almost 40 years old. High risk pregnancy at 38 years old. She already has 6 kids. How many of those kids belong to Elvin? I can almost guarantee you that a small amount of them might be his, but the majority of them probably are not his. He probably met her when she had 3 or 4 kids, and he probably produced a couple with her. I'm just assuming. I don't know that to be a fact. But the fact that they said that they allegedly believe that this kid is his, to me, is a problem. Why would they not automatically say, this was his kid, she was pregnant with his kid, he killed his kid? They believe he's the father. So that only means one or two things. That either means that she was sleeping around, or that he believes and said at some point that he believes that somebody else might be the father. So either they know she slept around, or he's accusing her of sleeping around. Well, she can no longer speak because she is posthumous right now. Everybody catch that? Let's keep going. Now, he'll also be charged with feticide because her death of the baby, because of her death, it caused the death of the baby. Now, her cousin said that she had 6 children, including twins. That's a lot of kids. She told Fox 5 at the time of her death, she brightened up our family. She had a heart of gold, always laughing. She was a wonderful mother of 6 who now have to live without her. Okay? Now, we were all together just about 4 weeks ago planning a family reunion. She was so full of energy, very vibrant, very positive, and an honest person. She was loved, and she will be missed truly by all of us, said Battle. And like I say, I don't mean any malice against the family. All I'm talking about is looking at this from an objectional standpoint. That's it. I don't mean any disrespect to the family at all. All we're doing is looking at this story and trying to piece it together and try to make sense of it. And how can we prevent these tragedies going forward? Okay. Now, Battle, who has a different father, was transported to the hospital with injuries, but is expected to survive. I did skip a part. Jakeem Battle, his name is Jakeem Battle, who's Crystal Durant's son, was stabbed in the leg once. The reason why he was stabbed was because he was trying to stop this man from killing his mom. Now, Battle, who has a different father, of course, I already told you guys this, was transported to the hospital with injuries but is expected to survive, O'Hara said. Investigators believe Battle tried to stop Elvin Durant from stabbing his mother when Durant allegedly turned the black folding knife on him, of course, because he's going to try to save his mama at the risk of his own life. Neighbors said there were other children in the home as well. They say an officer holding a crying baby in his arms trying to comfort him. The incident occurred at the Durant's home along Woods Meadow Drive, not far from the intersection of Powder Springs and Pears Road. Cobb County Police spokeswoman Sarah O'Hara said officers responded to a house alarm called just before 2:30 a.m. and discovered forced entry to the garage, which is weird. Like I said, we'll maybe find out some more information. Police discovered a man covered in blood leaving the home and detained him, O'Hara said. While checking inside, police discovered the body of Crystal Durant, Elvin Durant's wife, who had been stabbed repeatedly. Now, according to warrants, Cobb police responded to a domestic dispute at the home late last month. So apparently there's a pattern here. Crystal Durant told police she had left the house early July 30th after being sexually assaulted by her husband. She returned later that evening to discover her husband allegedly pouring water on her 2 55-inch televisions, rendering them useless. He was charged with felony criminal damage to property and jailed just under 3 days before bonding out for about $3,500, jail records show. All right, now they say that if anybody has information about the Saturday stabbings, it's asked to call Cobb County Police at 770-499-3945. Elvin Durant remains held without bond at a Cobb County Adult Detention Center jail, records show. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you guys the one and only news story video that we found because there was hardly nothing on this. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
A Cobb County man is in jail tonight charged with stabbing his wife to death and killing their unborn baby.
Police tell us the woman's teenage son was also stabbed. Fox 5's Denise Dillon is live for us in Cobb County. And Denise, police didn't know what they were walking into when they got the initial call.
No, they didn't. It started as just a simple alarm call, but when police showed up, they say they encountered a man in the garage, and he was covered in blood.
She brightened up our family. She had a big heart of gold, always laughing, a wonderful mother of 6 that now has to live without her.
Crystal Battle Durant was a mom of 6, including twins, and she was pregnant. Police say she died a tragic and violent death at the hands of her own husband, Elvin Durant. Police say he stabbed his wife Crystal to death in their Cobb County home.
Mr. Durant will be charged with the feticide because she was pregnant and her death caused the death of the baby.
Police say the woman's 19-year-old son, Jakeem Battle, tried to help his mom, but police say Durant stabbed him too. He was rushed to the hospital.
Then we saw the cops coming and one.
Oh no, come on, man. Guys, I know I'm stopping this a little bit early. We got 61 people watching the show right now. Do me a favor, for the people that are watching, what do you guys see is wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture? What's wrong with this picture here?
2, he was rushed to the hospital.
Then we saw the cops coming and one cops parked their car all the way to the stop sign and came running.
What's wrong with this picture? Yes, it's the neighbor. What's wrong with this What's wrong with this photo? What's wrong with this interview? Here's the problem. When we talk about protecting children, mainly boys, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of protection out there for boys. They're interviewing a child on a murder. That's a very, very sensitive thing to do. I don't think a child should be interviewing at all. For the life of me, this is what we're talking about. So Megan, Neil, Ouija, Paul, Jackson, DG, Kitten Paws, Joe Cool, hear me out on this. Sharon, hear me out on this. When we talk about protecting children, why does it seem like I've done stories before where we've had, they put the photos of the kids out there. They put the identities of the kids out there, but they'll protect the moms. The moms' identities will be hidden. You won't be able to find the names. You won't be able to find the information. You won't be able to find anything when there is a female perpetrator. In a lot of cases that we've done, we've had to literally do a hell of a lot of research just to find out what the identities of these people are, which is usually why I tend to not do some stories if I can't find the identities of the adults that are involved in these situations. What we talk about here is fathers. Where is this boy's father? And if this boy had his father in his life, which I'm assuming that he probably does not, the father with no way in hell would allow his son out there to be interviewing over a murder. That's very weird. I'm going to tell you guys also something when we talk about fathers being in these kids' lives. Another element that people might not catch from this story, which is why I'm the one doing the commentary, is because of the fact that Elvin Durant also ended up stabbing one of her older sons. You know why he didn't give a damn about stabbing her son and give a damn about stabbing his wife that was pregnant? Number one is because that's why we talk about that it's so important that women make the right choice when it comes to who you lay down with. There was already a history of violence here. The fact that this woman already had multiple kids, more than likely by multiple men, is also an indicator to let you know that her choosing of men is not very sound. So if you've had multiple men that you've been pregnant by and multiple men that have left or multiple men that have not stepped up to their quote unquote responsibility, then it also lets you know that there is a pattern. There is a pattern that needs to be fixed. Clearly, this man did not want her to have this kid for some reason. How many of those 6 children are his? We don't know. But even in the police report, they said that they are assuming that this kid was his. So what does that mean? Maybe she slept around. We don't know. She can't speak for herself, and we might not get a chance to hear from him. We don't know until the rest of that story comes out, if he decides to speak on it. But that's why it's so important who the woman chooses, because no man can do with a woman what a woman would not allow that man to do. She allowed that man into her house with her children, and all of those children's lives were at risk. All of them were. Who knows what made them stop? But all of those children's lives were at risk because of the type of man that this woman chose to let into her house, into her domicile around her other children, because those children cannot defend themselves against a grown man. And one of those children, who just happened to be big enough and old enough, was barely able to, because he got stabbed. He almost lost his life. But I think this is absolutely horrible. And the fact that this little boy's mama is standing here, shame on the mama. I think that's some bull crap. This little boy should not be doing no interview about a damn murder.
Son Jakeem Battle tried to help his mom, but police say Durant stabbed him too. He was rushed to the hospital.
Then we saw the cops coming, and one cops parked their car all the way to the stop sign and came running.
And neighbors say there were other children in the
And she got her other little boy out there. I can almost guarantee you them kids ain't got no daddy in their life. That's a damn shame.
house. They saw an officer holding a crying baby in his arms, trying to comfort him. Police say this isn't the first time they've been called here.
So police have been here a lot.
Yeah, it's always maybe every 2 weeks.
But Crystal's cousin,
And it doesn't sound like she's able to speak English very properly. You guys know that we have that problem in America where black people can't speak English properly. We have Latin people that come over here that can't speak English. And luckily enough for them, at least their children try to pick up and speak English properly. So the next time around when they have kids, then they're speaking perfect English. So maybe they're out there for interpretation purposes. I don't like the fact that there's kids out there talking about this. I just don't like that. I really don't.
Yeah, it's always maybe every 2 weeks.
but Crystal's cousin says they were all together just a few weeks ago, and Crystal never let on that there were any problems.
Wow. That's an impressive mouthpiece. I don't know that that even matters, but my Lord. Woo. That's another thing we got to talk about at some point in time. It's not relevant to this story, but I think taking care of your teeth, brushing your teeth. Oh, God, man, we got to do better with our hygiene, man. We got to make sure that we don't get to that point. I know it ain't got no relevance to the story, but I'm talking about it because I think it's important. I'm just throwing it out there. But again, when we talk about this story, when we talk about the relevance of DNA fathers being in the household, because if she would have got this right the first time, we want to get this right the first time. We don't want to continue to keep having in our communities these women that have a kid by a dude, then have a kid by another dude, then have a kid by another dude, then have a kid by another dude. And now all of a sudden we figured out who we want to live the rest of our lives with and raise our children. It should not go like that. We're going down a very, very bad path in the United States of America today and our society. It is now affecting all communities, let alone the black community. It just so happens to be that our numbers are in larger as far as percentage wise. It affects us more because we're a smaller community and we do it a hell of a lot more than everybody based on percentage, not by pure population, because we're outnumbered by everybody at this point. So understand that. All right. But again, if we can figure this out the first time around, make sure, ladies, the most important thing that you can do with the gift that God has given your body, which is to produce life, is to make sure that you choose the right person to have a kid by. Okay? I say that to my young ladies. I say that to our women. And I say that to the women that may have already been down this road, because what women are followers, which is a good thing. Women follow where the power is. Women have a lot of power in the United States right now. They have a voice that they never had right now. And so I will say to my ladies and to my women, the most important thing that you can do right now is to have this conversation. Have this conversation with your women counterparts, with your friends, with your cousins, with your young daughters, with young girls. This is something that they need to know is a problem, because they're going to listen to you. You guys listen to us. Now they need to listen to you, because we cannot reach them by the masses. But women spread stories and information like wildfire when they talk amongst each other. So these are the type of conversations that women absolutely have to start having with these young women that are on the come up right now. All right. If you're not going to be married to that man, don't have a kid by that man. And that starts at the very first one. Let's not continue to keep making these mistakes and we getting in our 20s and 30s and 40s talking about, well, I was young. No, once you cross the threshold of what's deemed to be age of consent in the United States of America, once you start to engage in sexual activity, once you start to put yourself in adult situations, then you need to be held accountable as such from that moment on. It is a gift. And I think that it's something that should be cherished. And I think that it's something that we need to take a lot more serious, because we can't just be willy-nilly out here having children by just anybody and everybody, and eventually we'll figure it out. That's not the way things go. It's harming the children, and the children are continuing to reproduce this same type of harmful mindset. And all it's going to do is to continue to keep reproducing itself until we forget what a nuclear family looks like. That's why for anybody out there that's married, so shout out to Megan Cadden, shout out to my brother Kurt Dog, shout out to Angel Honeycutt, and to all my married people out there, to all my married people that are listening. We need more nuclear families, mother and father in the home. Okay, that's what we have to make a focus. We have to make sure that we know that it is important, why it's important, because what we want to do is we want to end the destruction. If you guys wonder why our boys don't value their lives, it's because they don't see an example of that based on the DNA standpoint. When they see their father, they see themselves. They see value in that. If the mother doesn't show value in that, the boys are going to believe whatever it is that the mother tells them. And those boys are going to turn around and put that onto society, which means that those boys are going to now be a burden on the rest of us. They're going to be robbing. They're going to be stealing. They're going to be killing each other and other people. They're going to continue to keep putting this violence out there. Okay? How do we fix that? We have to fix it at the foundation. Fix the babies. If you want productive men, you have to have productive boys. If you want good women, if you want extraordinary women, you have to start raising extraordinary girls. They have to have extraordinary mindsets. They also have to have extraordinary, what do you call it? They have to have extraordinary standards. We have to start having standards. Women and girls should have standards to where they say, I'm not going to accept a man that is below my standards. You have to meet or exceed my standards. We all have to expect better from each other. We have to strive for perfection, okay? We have to see that as a possibility. We have to see value in ourselves, and we have to see value in our children and our future. That's basically what I want to say about this story. So I want to thank you guys for coming through. I'm going to let the rest of this video play out, okay?
To go, and Crystal never let on that there were any problems.
Full of energy, very vibrant, very honest person. That's what I can say about my cousin Crystal. She was loved and she will be missed, truly, by all of us.
So what we want to do is we want to make sure that we don't have to get to this point of where now we're talking about this while these people are dead and they're posthumous, and we're trying to figure out, well, you know, it's sad. Now we got to plan funerals and stuff like that. What we want to do is we want to make sure that we don't even get anywhere close to these situations. Okay. So again, man, this is your boy DJ Just Jay signing off, man. Thank you guys so much for joining the show.